Welcome. Welcome to our 38th Annual Legislative Conference, or simply known as ALC. We are very happy that you have chosen to join with us for this, our 38th conference. And we are so pleased that we have members of Congress who've joined us this morning. You'll be hearing from them later. This conference continues our tradition of having a national forum to develop strategies and viable solutions to public policy issues facing African Americans and people of color. The name Congressional Black Caucus Foundation is synonymous with leadership education and public policy. From our earliest days, the CBCF founders envisioned an organization that would stimulate growth and equity in the African American communities and the global Black community by channeling our focus into legislative and public policy arenas. This year, we mark a turning point in history where one of the members of the CBC has become the candidate for president of a major party, and we are proud that that member is a member of the CBC. We feel like our conference this year will offer a lot, where we offer a number of issue forums and brain trusts that cover the gamut of issues and concerns that face African Americans. Our theme this year is embracing the promise, realizing the dream. And we chose this theme. We felt like we could spin this theme a lot of different ways. As we talk about the promise, a lot of people think about America's promise. What is America's promise? That when this country was founded as African Americans, we did not have a part of that American promise of equal justice for everybody. But what we are saying now in 2008, we are embracing this promise of the American promise as African Americans, because we are recognizing and realizing the vision that our forefathers had, and especially our civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King, the vision that we would have a country that was colorblind, a country where there was equal opportunity for all Americans. So our forums this year will discuss critical topics, and you'll hear more about the schedule from our co-chairs. But let me just mention that this conference is our major fundraiser for the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, and it raises money so that we can support programs to provide scholarships, fellowships, and internships for promising young people. And many of the people who participate in our internship programs and our fellowship programs are persons who would not have the opportunity to come to Washington. They would not have the opportunity to work for a member of Congress if it were not for the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation and the support of the Congressional Black Caucus. We have a number of initiatives at the foundation. In addition to our fellowships, scholarships, and interns, we have a number of initiatives that relate to health and trying to promote healthy living among African Americans, as well as addressing health disparities. We have also been focusing on financial literacy and economic empowerment, and that will be one of the central themes this year's conference, where we look at the housing crisis that is facing so many people. So we invite you to attend our brain trust, our issue forums, and our other events. And please keep in tune with all of the other activities we do throughout the year. At the foundation, we are very fortunate to have a great chairman, who is none other than Congressman Kendrick B. Meek from Miami, Florida, who has served for the past 2 years as the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. So let us now welcome to the podium Congressman Kendrick B. Meek.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Scott. Good morning, everyone. Okay. Well, welcome to the 38th Annual Legislative Conference. And I can tell you that from the start, I know that this is going to be an outstanding 3 to 4 days as we celebrate this great democracy that we live in, and also the work that the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation staff and board members and also our co-chairs have done over the last 12 months. I think you'll find this conference to be very fulfilling, not only educationally, but also spiritually. And this is going to be a historical moment in the history of the United States of America as we discuss some of the major issues that are facing this great country of ours. As you know, 18,000 individuals, leaders throughout the country attend this conference every year. And when they come here to share their ideas from the corners of this great country of ours with members of Congress and other advocacy groups that are here in Washington, D.C., it brings about the kind of change that we're looking for. Also, I would say that many of the events that you're going to hear about from our co-chairs and as you look at your program book are events that are going to help mold the next 12 months. There's a lot going on right now. Right now on the Hill, we're still in session. We have our last week of session that will be ending on Friday, hopefully. I hear it may even go to Saturday. We're talking about $700 billion to $1 trillion of trying to bail out the issue in Wall Street to be able to save the economy. But I'm glad that we have members of Congress that are willing to look at these proposals to make sure that American people are not left behind in that process. We have a lot of young people that are involved in this conference with our emerging leaders that will be here. We have Brain Trust that will be dealing with health care, and our town hall meeting dealing with housing. And so as you walk the halls of this convention center and walk the halls of Congress, some of the Brain Trust will be over at in the Capitol. Pay very close attention to what's happening. And I want you to feel free to share your feelings with us. Things that you think we need to know is very, very important to the forward progress that we make here at this conference and to be able to make it better for you, because that's what it's all about. I want to also share with you that we're going to be honoring and remembering some of our members that have fallen. We have had a lot of death in, or I may say homegoing, within the Congressional Black Caucus, and we will be honoring those members throughout this conference, but especially at the dinner on Saturday. You will also see a book that you'll be given at the prayer breakfast from the United States Clerk's Office of the House of Representatives, talking about African Americans that have served in Congress from the beginning to now. You also will be getting a book from the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, some of you will, on your seats at the dinner. And they're also online where one can purchase the book that will be talked about a little further, in the future. But I can't say enough about our two co-chairs that have done so much work and that has put forth an outstanding weekend for you, along with our Congressional Black Caucus spouses. But I'm going to bring on one of those individuals. Well, one is Greg Meeks, one of my good friends from New York, and the other is what we call Congresswoman Queen Corrine Brown, who represents Jacksonville all the way down to Orlando, and one of my mom's best friends, so she kind of keeps an eye on me up here in Congress. But right now, I would like to bring on Chairwoman Congresswoman Brown from the great state of Florida.
God is good all the time. First of all, before I begin, let me say that Congressman Meek and the chair, Congresswoman Kirkpatrick, tag teamed me and asked me to do this. And I want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you. And I want you to know that I've been coming here for 25 years. And I haven't missed in 25 years, and of course we've been celebrating this for 38 years. But such a time as this, you know, the key to politics is timing. Our opening town hall meeting is on foreclosure. And one of our keynote speakers is going to be Congressman Bernie Franks and Maxine Waters. We are right in the heart of what's going on in this country, the Congressional Black Caucus. And I'm just very proud that we're going to have our opening town hall meeting about foreclosure. In addition, we're not going to just talk about the problem, For 3 days, we're going to have counselors available that's actually going to talk with people and help them renegotiate their mortgage. That's what it's all about. And so I'm just very happy that the Congressional Black Caucus is on the cutting edge of what is going on in this country. Our theme, Embracing the Promise, Realizing the Vision, address the cross that we all have to bear. And we're standing on tall shoulders. And so this conference, we have 88 workshops and town hall meetings. So it's something for everyone, whether you are interested in health care, education, civil rights, voting rights. We have something for you in this conference. Our town hall meeting on foreclosure will be moderated by the president of the National Urban League. At the town hall meeting, we are not going to, as I said, just have an opening session that we talk to you, but we're going to take questions. And at the exhibit hall right here, it's going to be a job fair where employers will be there with resumes and on-the-job opportunities are going to be there at the job fair. And the same thing is true for the college fair, where we're going to have colleges there, universities, and trade schools, and they're going to tell you about their scholarship programs and what is available for the students. So we are really going to have a wonderful opportunity for participation. Tonight, the official kickoff of the ALC will have the welcoming ceremony, and we're going to discuss the meaning of being black in America. And this came from the CNN series that aired this summer, bearing the same title. The moderator of the program will be Dr. Dyson, a professor, author, and radio host who is called the Hip Hop Scholar. Our prayer breakfast, which is one of my favorites, the speaker, the pastor, will be the former member of Congress and pastor Floyd Flake. And of course, the dinner, the actress Holly Roberts Pete and her husband will be hosting it. And we have a lot of additional events that Congressman Greg Meeks will talk to you about. You see, I'm losing my voice already. I'm getting ready for such a wonderful weekend, and we expect a participation from people that's attending the conference. Congressman Meeks, let's give him a hand.
What a great day this is. I want to thank first and give a round of applause to my co-chair, who has been working very hard. You know, when the chair of the foundation of the CBC decided that we were going to be co-chairs, they couldn't have given me a woman who was more dedicated, more focused, more action-oriented, more wanting to have perfection than my sister from the great state of Florida, Corrine Brown. She want to make sure this is right. And to my chair of the foundation and to the chair of the CBC and to all of you, my colleagues, of one of the 43 members of the Congressional Black Caucus, 38 years later, I saw Chairman Rangel, who was here, who was the founder, starting with 9, 38 years later, we are 43 members strong, celebrating our 38th ALC on a historic even, a historic week. In fact, the camera of history is rolling on us today. And this ALC week is historic indeed. When you think about all of the workshops that are being had, all of the issues that are being had, when you think about the fact that the United States of America on this week has gone broke. That's why we're still in session. Historic. Hasn't happened before. But the answers to some of the problems how we can band together and make sure that we take care of the least of these will be taking place in the workshops that we have this week. You heard of the historic town hall meeting that's going to be had. And we all come together for the prayer breakfast. But let me tell you a little bit about the dinner. The dinner is indeed historic, because for the first time when you look at the honorees that we're going to have there, you'll hear first that have never happened in America before. The chairman of the foundation and the chair, my co-chair, has indicated that one of the awardees will be a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. He is the first member to be nominated as the Democratic nominee to be president of these United States. He will be at the dinner, and he will be receiving an award. And for the first time in the history of this country, we have an African-American woman who is the Speaker of a legislative body from the state of California. We have the great Karen Mass, who will be our honoree history this week. For the first time in the history of the United States, we have 2 African-American governors who will be receiving awards. 2, Patrick Duvall from Massachusetts and David Patterson from New York. They will be receiving awards today. And so, my friends, what a great day. We honor also and thank our lead sponsor, Eli Lilly, who you'll hear from shortly, who has come forward to make sure that they are part of this great historic occasion. And I say to you that when we leave the 38th Annual Legislative Conference, we will be leaving much more enriched, with much more knowledge than when we arrived here. Because the focus, when you're talking about embracing the promise and realizing the vision, is to make sure that tomorrow, for our young people and for generations yet unborn, that tomorrow is better than our today or our yesterday. And the person that has led the Congressional Black Caucus for the last 2 years is an extraordinary woman, a woman who is talented, a woman who is committed, a woman who is dedicated, a woman who is focused, a woman who shows, and you can feel her spirit and her heart of making sure that she leads our people to the promised land. She is indeed a leader of leaders, and that is the chairwoman of the Congressional Black Caucus, the Honorable Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick.
Amen. Giving honor to God, who is the head of my life, welcome, as all of my colleagues have said today, to an exciting 72-plus hours that we want you to rock and roll, meet and greet, expand your horizon, and let's build a new America together. I bring you greetings from the 43 members of the Congressional Black Caucus. We come from 21 states, including the District of Columbia and the Virgin Islands. We represent over 40 million Americans. 18 of our members represent less than 50% African American. 5 of our members represent less than 15% African American. No one represents over 62%, so we represent all of America: European, Asian, African, Native American, you name it, and we are also called the Conscience of the Congress. I'm honored to present to you some of the members who are here this morning. From Newark, New Jersey, fine gentleman, chairman, and by the way, we have 17 chairmen of subcommittees, 4 full committee chairmen, and the Democratic whip as members of the Congressional Black Caucus. Congressman Donald Payne, chairman of the African Global Committee in our International Relations from Newark, New Jersey. Thank you, Donald. Thank you. First Vice Chair and a member of the Appropriations Committee, co-chair of the Progressive Caucus, Congresswoman Barbara Lee from California. Chairman of Subcommittee on Government Oversight, Congressman Danny Davis from Illinois. Chairwoman of one of the transportation committees, Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson, Texas. Chairwoman also from the Virgin Islands, Congresswoman Dr. Donna Christensen. And as we sit in her home and do battle with her as we fought that gun thing and gonna come back and help her again with your help and God's, our sister, our leader from the District of Columbia, Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton. One of the founding members of the Congressional Black Caucus, a bad gentleman, handles $2 trillion. And if you know our history in this country, if you don't do anything, nobody bothers you. But if you're powerful and bad and handle $2 trillion, won't you welcome our chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Charlie Rangel. Another chairwoman from the Judiciary as well as Foreign Operations Committee, Congresswoman from Houston, Texas, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Thank you. As was mentioned earlier, we also pay homage to our 5 members, 3 current, 2 former, who have been deceased and who passed with our ancestors this year. Congressman Augustus Hawkins, Congressman Perrin Mitchell, Congresswoman Juanita Milliner McDonald, Congresswoman Julia Carson, Congresswoman Stephanie Tubbs Jones. They are all here with us today in spirit, and we pledge to them as we build a new America. We will continue to sacrifice, to give, to organize, to speak out against injustice, and to build a better world for God's people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congresswoman Kilpatrick. One of the reasons why we have been able to be successful as a foundation is because of the support we receive from all the members of the CBC, and we thank you for all that you do. At this time, I want to invite Jesse Price to come to the stage. And as he's coming up, let me just say something, that we are not able to offer this conference and offer so many free activities during this conference if it were not for the support we receive from the corporate community. And we reached out to the corporate community and asked them to support this conference. And there was one corporation that stood up heads and shoulders above all the other corporations, and that was Eli Lilly. They came on this year as our premier sponsor, providing great support for this conference. And at this time, I would like to bring up Jesse Price, who's representing Eli Lilly today, for a few words and for a presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Let me first thank Dr. Scott for her leadership and her staff for all the long hours and hard work that they put into ensuring that this gathering place of ideas continues in the tradition of those who inaugurated this foundation and upon whose shoulders we stand this morning. I want to thank Congressman and Foundation Chairman Kendrick Meek, whose vision and enthusiasm came at a very critical time in the Foundation's history, and who can list among his many accomplishments the retirement of the Foundation's building debt. And I think that those of us in the room who are lucky enough to own a sound mortgage know what an important and enviable position that is to be in. I also want to thank co-chairs Congressman Greg Meeks and Congresswoman Corrine Brown for their willingness to serve this year, and to Congresswoman Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick for her strength and gracefulness in her leadership of the Foundation's biggest boosters, the Congressional Black Caucus, which you see many of the members here before you today. I also want to take a personal point of privilege, because I have the microphone, to again reiterate some of the sentiments that were expressed by Congresswoman Kilpatrick, and that is, I hope you will join me in extending continued prayers to the families of the late Congresswoman Juanita Milliner McDonald, the late Congresswoman Julia Carson, and the late Congresswoman Stephanie Tubbs Jones, all of whom began this term of Congress with us and who I know took a very personal interest in the success of this foundation. On behalf of Eli Lilly and Company, I'm extremely proud and honored to be standing here as the premier sponsor of the 2008 Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Annual Legislative Conference. For us, being the first ever premier sponsor is just icing on the cake. Today's announcement serves as the latest example of a continuing partnership between Lilly and the CBCF, one that dates back nearly a decade, and I am proud to say that this relationship predates my tenure with Lilly. We at Eli Lilly and Company hold as a core value what we call a respect for people. It is gratifying to know that this core value is shared by the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. From its humble beginnings in a small townhouse on Capitol Hill to its firm place along the avenue of the most prominent thinkers and opinion leaders on the planet, the CBCF continues in this tradition by working to educate and train the next generation of African American teachers, policy wonks, and yes, even members of Congress. Through the work of the CBCF, Americans all across the country have been provided the resources and support to take ownership of a home, to take ownership of their health, and ultimately, to take ownership of their future. Lilly understands and applauds this mission, and on behalf of the some 40,000 employees worldwide, it is our great pride this morning that I am here to present a check for $500,000 to the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation for its 2008 Annual Legislative Conference.
Thank you so very much. I thank Lilly for being a part of the solution here at our conference. Give them a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, we have really the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, a part of our history, has been with great support and leadership from the Congressional Black Caucus spouses. Many spouses have served as chair of the Congressional Black Caucus spouses, and they have really provided millions of dollars of scholarship opportunities for young people to be able to receive scholarships to move on in their educational experience. And this year, the Congressional Black Caucus spouse chair is Simone Meeks from New York, who has done an outstanding job over the period of time, several months, of making sure that this conference is successful, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about what the spouses are doing this during the 38th Annual Legislative Conference. Simone Meeks from New York.
Good morning. I want to tell you particularly about what the spouses are doing this evening. We open with our celebration of leadership. And the celebration of leadership is a tribute to both departing members of Congress, sponsors of the conference, and folks in the visual and performing arts. Particularly this year, we're honoring the legendary B.B. King, the legendary Betty Saar, who is a visual artist, for those of you who might not know, and also Howard Bingham, who has chronicled some of the most important civil rights moments in our history, as well as being a photographer for Muhammad Ali. We will also honor our young performing arts and visual arts scholars. They are a testament to the continuation of what we're trying to do. The sponsors make it possible to have money to give these kids scholarships so that they can continue with their visual arts. And this celebration of leadership truly is a testament to what the Congressional Black Caucus itself is. As William Clay Sr. said, it is a testament to the fact that if you have no permanent friends, no permanent interests, no permanent friends or permanent enemies, but permanent interest, you can accomplish much. I hope that you will join us. We will have another essay forum in the coming days where we highlight high school students who are talking about leadership on their own, an emerging leader panel that will speak with them about what they believe leadership is in the next generation. And we're grateful that you're all here. Thanks.
Thank you so very much, Simone and Mrs. Meeks. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we'll take any questions if the media has any questions at this time. Hearing none, please enjoy your conference. Thank you so very much for being here.